Yo, welcome back to Gridiron podcast. I'm your host Jay Brown. As always, joining me is Devontae Forever. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. You know, we had a certain time of the year, so we want to say happy holidays to everybody from Gridiron podcast. Got a little festive up in here. You know what I mean?
Happy holidays for sure.
I gotta bring up holiday stuff after Raiders shit the bed last Thursday night. um, but yeah, appreciate everybody checking out the show on YouTube as well as Facebook. It's crazy how sometimes people be like, "Yeah, I watched it on YouTube, but I want to watch it on Facebook." I'm like, "Then do it." Right? Like it's public, so like definitely make sure you guys are tuning in, checking it out, and also sharing the show. That definitely helps. And as always, if you have a thought or you want to be on the show, let me know. But comment down below, and we'll read your comment on air. So let's waste no time, get right into it. Devontae, obviously, I had a bad NFL Week 14. Raiders got probably the upset of the year. Baker Mayfield left his job at Target to come beat the Raiders on Thursday night. But regarding your Steelers, and as well as what are your thoughts on NFL Week 14?
Steelers, I got no comment on. Looks like next week, not this week coming up. Next week we'll be playing to see who gets the higher draft pick.
Right,
right. That's what we gonna be playing for next week. But like just honestly, I really hope you win because like we got the fantasy football playoffs coming up. I need Devontae Adams and them boys not to sell on me, please and thank you. Anyway, after that, it was an interesting week for sure. I would definitely say it's an interesting week. Honestly, I don't think it was better than the week before. I don't think it was better in the week before in any stretch of the imaginations. I think the Dallas game was the funniest game I've seen all week. I'll say that was one of the funniest games I ever watched. Like they just got lucky to get out of there. But more importantly, week 14, I think the only thing other than that's like important that I would say is shout out to Brock Purdy. He did his thing. He's hurt.
Oh man,
he hurt now, but he did his thing. Now I'm not everybody else following these stupid narratives that he's going to be the next Tom Brady.
There we go. Yep,
that is.
I was going to mention it.
All the imaginations, but like he did his thing to come and didn't play all year and he did his thing. I was impressed for sure.
Yeah, man. Look, man, the Niners, like we've said from the get-go, the Niners, if they can find the quarterback play, they are a tough team. We know the defense is real. The run game is crazy.
Yeah.
I know Debo's out, but he should be back for the playoffs. Yeah, the Niners are a real team, so I'm not really worried about all Brock or Garoppolo or Trey Lance. All they gotta do is not mess it up. You know what I mean? Hand off the ball, make a few throws, and that's it. Defense will take care of the rest. Yeah, man. Obviously, Thursday night was a debacle. Obviously, I mean, like straight debacle. My Raiders, man. But I'm happy because you already know I want that draft pick. I want them to just get ready for next year. Everybody talking about they was about to make a playoff push. I'm like, hold off on that. Let's do that next year. I mean, let's get these picks, work on his defense. Because it was the defense that blew the game. You know what I mean, it was the secondary that blew the game. Of course it was. So hopefully we draft a corner. The rest of the week I thought was cool though. I was happy to see Detroit win. I was happy to see them beat the Vikings. Because obviously, here, like we both root for the Lions, you know what I mean? They got a squad, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I am a little concerned about the Vikings though. The up and down, you know what I mean? The up and down. I just something about them don't seem quite right. Like I think that's the way you feel about Dallas, where it's like same old Cowboys. That's kind of how I feel about the Vikings. Like, all right, yeah, they're gonna beat some tough teams. They're gonna be there in the end, but
I mean, it is Kirk Cousins. To be real here, guys. It is Kirk Cousins. Like, I mean, this is his career. He's the Phillip Rivers of the NFL today, where it's like his regular season stats be like top notch. You ain't worried about him in the playoffs. Ain't nobody ever worried about Phillip Rivers in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, man. Look, man. But look, I think right now the teams are starting to separate, right? You know what I mean? We seeing some teams like Kansas City, who I thought played sloppy. You know what I mean? Played a good game against Denver, like they beat them, but like Mahomes played sloppy. He had 3 picks. Oddly enough, the Broncos had their best offensive showing of the day, of the year, probably because the 3 picks came where Mahomes threw the picks. But hey, man, they put up 28 points. That's the highest of the year. Of course, it happens in a loss, right? Even their second highest output against the Raiders the first time was in a loss as well. But look, man, I expect the Broncos to be a little better than that next year. Obviously, new coach, new quarterback. Hell, they might even have a new coach next year, right? Look, man, I think it's starting to become a few teams in each conference that's like really like starting to separate themselves, right? Even Miami, they go and lose to a Chargers team that's talented. We know the Chargers are talented, but they can never seem to put it together. And Miami goes down and lose that game. So it's a tough one. Let's get to these comments real quick. Fox was good, man. Said Brock Purdy is a potentially next Jimmy G. Yo, look, man, I saw it already. Like, oh, Mr. Irrelevant, just like Brady was kind of, you know what I mean, snuck in, it's basically stuck in the league in the through the back door of the draft. No, man, I agree. He's not. He's not even close to the next Brady. Oh man,
like relax.
Jessica Brown, always appreciate the support. Let's get on to the first topic we getting into, man. And Micah Parsons, man. I'm sure everyone by this point, because it was in like on every show today, but I'm sure everyone heard about his comments about Jalen Hurts in the MVP race, basically asking, is it all Jalen Hurts or is it the team, right? And obviously we know Cowboys and Eagles, they have a big game coming up next week, of course. And this just fuel to the fire. So my question to you is, does he have a point? Or is it just, rivalry hating? Or is it just, you know what I mean?
It's a mixture of both. Like, he's not wrong, because like the Eagles, I told you since day one, the Eagles had, if there was a award for general manager of the year, Howie Roseman's winning this award by 30. It ain't
Right.
And it ain't damn close. Like, it's not even close. Like, they had the most well-constructed team I've seen in years. But on top of that, you add that on top of that, also Jalen Hurts is playing great ball. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like,
absolutely,
he's playing great ball. It's not like he's just throwing everybody wide open. He's literally throwing deep, perfect passes, not making really that many mistakes. There's not really much you can ask of a quarterback for him to do that. Now, so then it's like, what that is, you take the MVP race is always tough because it's always favorites. You know what I'm saying? But like, you're really pretty much going against like Pat Mahomes and him and Jalen Hurts. That's like pretty much your top two right there. So I mean, one's really like, they're really kind of neck and neck because, like, every like 7 games, Patrick Mahomes will have that random game. He throws 3 picks, but he'll somehow end up winning the game anyway. So it's like you really can't, throws the game with a touchdown. You can't really say nothing anyway. But like, I think Patrick Mahomes is definitely going to win the MVP race. But like, do I think Jalen Hurts deserves recognition for the work he's doing? Is absolutely. So it's not a bad, like, he ain't saying it like a crazy. He ain't saying nothing that's super crazy. But like, Jalen Hurts deserves respect. You got to also put respect on his name also.
Look, man, like, now when we first did the show, I praise Micah Parsons, right? I love Mike. I love the way he played. I wish he played a little better in the run game. You know what I mean? But he's still young. I think this take is garbage, bro. Like, and look, now if he's doing it because Cowboys, Philly, you know what I mean, rivalry, I'm cool. I'm with that part. But if he actually meant it, then like, come on, bro. Like, because let's look at the past MVPs. Who won it last year? Rodgers, right? Back to back. Devontae Adams. One of the years he had Randall Cobb as well. But like, you know what I mean? Like, he look, it's not like he was throwing to nobody, right?
Yeah.
Lazard is not a world beater, but as a second, he's good. You know what I mean? Obviously, we know Devontae Adams is that dude. We ranked him last week as the best receiver in the league, pound for pound. Before that, was that Mahomes?
Yes.
Patrick
no, it might have been Lamar.
Okay, now that's a case where it's like, okay, he's Mr. Do It All, right? But
Lamar is the only one who do it by himself.
But even then, good offensive line. You know what I mean? They could run block their ass off. Now, receivers, he didn't really have too many. Of course. You know what I mean? I
never
get
have
that part.
receivers.
I get that point. We got Mark Andrews, and he has a good offensive line. You know what I mean? And then Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, Andy Reid, the perfect coach for him. I'm not saying these guys didn't deserve it, but that's my point. Jalen Hurts, yes, he has A.J. Brown. He has a great run game. He's a part of that run game. I don't think the run game will be as good without him. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, the defense, they back him up as well. But look, man, if the stats are there and the production is there, he wins the MVP. Now, I disagree with you when you say Mahomes is going to win it. I think Hurts, look, man, he better throw 2 or 3 picks per game to lose this at this point. and that's no disrespect to Mahomes. I think Mahomes is the best in the game right now, but I think Hurts got it. He got it this year. I heard people start talking about like Mahomes fatigue, how it's like, Jordan fatigue and LeBron fatigue, where it's like, let's give it to somebody else because he technically could win it. But I think Hurts deserved it this year. So I think Micah Parsons just doing the whole Philly, you know what I mean? Like rivalry thing. I don't actually see how he has a point outside of that. So, comment from Fox, he said, if the Eagles finish with 2 losses at the most, then Hurts get the MVP. However, I believe Mahomes wins it. Look, I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes don't have a case because Mahomes obviously, look, man, like Mahomes, he could have won the MVP last year and the year, but you know what I mean? Like he's had the stats and stuff. So, but I just think Hurts, though, look, I even say they can lose 3 games. I still think he'll win it. When former Scud Pops, he said Mahomes is doing what he always does. Hurts is doing, he's doing what people wondered if he could. He deserves the MVP at this point. The Dallas game will tell a lot, right? He goes out, wins the Dallas game. I'm not saying he got to throw for 350, but if he plays well in the Dallas game, I say it's locked up. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. Let's get to the next thing we're talking about. These wild card teams, man. Obviously, we know the playoffs. It's not set in stone yet. Of course, still can change actually drastically. But there's some wild card teams. Dallas is probably going to be a wild card team. They might win the division, but less. You know what I mean? Teams like the Giants, the Commanders, who else? The Seahawks or the Niners. One of those two. Nobody's going to come out the South. And then over in the AFC, we got teams like Baltimore or Cincinnati. We'll see what the status of Lamar Jackson is. We have teams like the Chargers. We have teams like possibly, the Jets, the Dolphins, you know what I mean? Or the Bills, who knows? So which one of those teams that that are in that wild card that even the Detroit Lions, right? That you think can actually go on and actually make some serious noise going forward?
Detroit is going to terrify teams. Nobody's going to want to play Detroit in the playoffs.
In the playoffs?
Yeah, nobody's going to want to play Detroit in the playoffs because the playoffs is so much thing nobody talk about in the playoffs is that it's so physical. The playoffs are wild physical, and a team that can run the ball just at will and just punch you in the face are very annoying to play. So if they don't if you don't put them to sleep early, they're gonna make it hell for you to get to the next round. And that's why I got Detroit. Do I think Detroit could win a playoff game? Maybe if they catch somebody on the off game, depends on who they play. But I think Detroit will give teams a crazy amount of trouble in this playoffs, especially with that dynamic. The way they run the ball. That's really what they do. They just run the ball. Now that they got Jameson Williams back, now you don't got to worry about all the pressure ain't on Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like they got so many weapons, and especially with that defense, that's a team that reminds me a lot of like that Jaguar scene when they had Blake Bortles, where it's like, yo, if you can't score points, it's gonna get dark for you. Like it'll get dark for you. Like field goals, you're not gonna beat Detroit with just field goals. I'm telling you that right now, because they can put up the points. But the best of them, the only difference is they're the only team, and they're one of the very few teams in that NFC that can put points on the board, but also controlling the clock.
Okay.
Because they run the ball the entire time. What's that?
Do you think Detroit can beat Philly?
No.
Okay.
No, they're not beating Philly.
But a good run though. Like you think it'd be a close game?
Closer game, yeah. It'd be a closer game than people would imagine. Like they're not getting to the playoffs and getting murdered by nobody. Like that's how I feel. Like I think out of all the teams, they'd give the Vikings the work. They'll give the Vikings a run for their money. And I think they'll give the Cowboys a run for their money as well.
Okay.
But so now we flip to the AFC. Baltimore. Nobody want to see Baltimore with Lamar. I'm telling you that right now. Nobody gonna want to see Baltimore with Lamar because, bro, now we don't talk about how they're low key getting healthy. Because like the one thing we don't talk about Baltimore is yes, their secondary was very sketchy, bro. You can't run the ball on Baltimore at all. It's cheating with Bowser and Patrick Queen and JPP. And then you don't talk about they just got Roquan Smith, bro.
Yeah. He's been playing well.
That is cheating. Like that's legit cheating. Like they're literally their little interior defensive line is crazy. And the one thing you need in the playoffs, is running the ball. If you can't run the ball in the playoffs, 9 times out of 10, you lose every year.
Run the ball, stop the run. I got you.
Yes, because think about it. In the last 2 years, the Chiefs went home. Why? Because the Chiefs couldn't run the ball. They went home because they can't run the ball. Patrick Mahomes, not Josh Allen. He don't take the ball and just run with it. So that's why the Bengals beat the Chiefs last year, because Joe Mixon was just abusing them.
Do you think so? You have Cincinnati winning the division then?
Yeah, they're gonna win out. They're gonna win the division. They're gonna win out, and they're gonna win the division. I think Baltimore is going to just like see how long they can use this Huntley thing as much as possible, and then they'll get Lamar to try to get him as fully healthy as possible. Because like I think like that team is so, you're gonna realize why Lamar and them are so scary. Like you can't stop that. Bro, you look at the Ravens, bro. Only thing you look at the Ravens, you're like, what's the biggest miss on? They don't have a star receiver. You get him a star receiver, bro. And now the fact that they got J.K. Dobbins back, oh come on, man. Like that is a team that nobody's going to talk about, but everybody will be in fear for their lives to play in the first round.
I got you. So as much as I want them to make it, I don't have the Lions make in the playoffs. I want them, but I think that's the way they got off to the start of the year. Same thing with the Raiders. If they took care of business, then that game against the Rams don't even matter, right? But I think the way they got off to start the season, I think they're going to slightly miss it. So with that, I would have picked them, but I think they're going to miss. So with that, I think it's Dallas. I think Dallas is going to be the wild card team. I don't think they're going to win the division, and I think they could beat any other team except Philly. You know what I mean? I don't think they could beat the Eagles, but I think they beat every other team who they may play. You know what I mean? If they can avoid Philly as the 5 seed, then they'll be able to. You know what I mean? Obviously, that means they need one of the other wild card teams to win as well, which I think might happen. You know what I mean? So they might luck out and be able to avoid Philly to a possible conference championship game, which is crazy to think. Now, initially, I will say I had Cincinnati as the wild card, but I do agree with the injury to Lamar Jackson. I do think they will now go on to win the division because that was my initial pick. In the AFC, I gotta go. This is tough, man, but I gotta go Miami. I know they just lost to the Chargers. And the Chargers not a bad pick as well because I think they play best when they don't have expectations. But Miami's a team in the AFC that I think can play Cincinnati in a close game. They can play Kansas City in a close game. They can play Buffalo obviously because they're division rivals. I think Miami is a team that is explosive enough to beat any of those three teams, and those are the 3 teams. If you add in Philly, then to me, you have the top 4 teams. You add in Dallas, my opinion, you have the top 5 teams right there. Cincinnati, Kansas City, Buffalo, Philly, Dallas. Not in that order, but you know what I mean? Those are the 5 teams in the NFL right now. I think Miami can possibly beat all of them if they're on the right game. You know what I mean? In the playoffs, it's about who gets hot. Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl. Nobody picked them to go to the Super Bowl, probably besides Pops. You know what I mean?
The only human who picked the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl.
Right. So, I mean, it's a tough question because now I do say I respect your pick enough to say if I'm Philly or Buffalo who's sitting in the 1 seeds, beware. Seattle, Dallas, San Fran, Detroit, all of them can bring it in a way that will challenge Philly. You know what I mean? With the run game, you see what I'm saying? Whether it's Zeke, it's Pollard, whether it's whoever runs the ball for the Niners, they always got like these fast ass backs with that scheme. Whether it's the Lions rushing attack and that offensive line, oh, they play beautiful, man. They play beautiful smash mouth football. I love it, man. It's like so refreshing to see they beat people up. You know what I mean?
See, I'll never pick Miami because of the weather. I'll never pick Miami because they can't play in no cold weather. That's the problem. That's the only reason why I never pick Miami is because they can't play in cold weather.
You know what? I didn't think about that because Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Buffalo. That's a tough one.
Like Baltimore, and that's the thing about Baltimore that is terrifying. Is that for example, when they played the Bills, if it wasn't for some garbage, Lamar was giving the Bills the work. We didn't know nobody was talking about that. He was giving them the work. But that defense just collapsed at that first game. Lamar is a player to where it's he's so special that you literally don't know how to stop him. You really can't, because it's if you let him just sit there and throw, he's showing you more and more. He's proved to you that he can make the throws when he has to. He could put balls in tight windows. And then more importantly, you can't tackle him. You can't tackle him.
You're not worried about the weapons around him besides Mark Andrews and the rushing attack?
That's my problem. That's the thing about that. I've been worried about them every year.
Okay.
I'm not picking the Ravens to win the Super Bowl.
Sure, yeah.
I'm picking them, but like, do I think like if you telling me when I talk about the wild card, like who's dangerous? Nobody talking about Baltimore. Not a soul is talking about Baltimore. For example, like the Cincinnati Bengals got to play the Ravens pretty soon, I believe.
2 weeks, I think.
That's a massive game. That is a massive game. And ain't nobody saying nothing. Like they already just, you look at the media and everything, they just like, they're what I call, Pops' biggest fear. They just gave the Cincinnati Bengals a division. And my dad's the only one who's like, whoa, wait a minute. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, because you don't want them to believe in the hype because Baltimore is still sitting right there. Like,
it's not a lock. Yeah.
Like you gotta relax. Like,
I do agree. It is not a lock. Like, the Bengals didn't win the division yet. You know what I mean? So I still think they will, but they got an uphill battle to fight. You know what I mean?
But they also got to get healthy too.
Absolutely.
Hendrickson is a broken wrist. That's massive. T. Higgins pulled a hamstring. Tyler Boyd just got like a broken finger or something like that. So it's like
at the wrong time.
Healthy. They gotta get healthy. They gotta get healthy just like everybody else. Like,
All right, let's get to these comments real quick. Levante Armwood was good, bro. He said Detroit's a better Giants team, tough as shit, and find ways to win. Yeah, Dan Campbell might have just squeaked his way into coach of the year, like at the last minute. You know what I mean? Biting kneecaps and stuff. Freddie Foreman was good, Unc. He said, so what do you think about the backs of the Cowboys? Look, that rushing attack in Dallas is serious. Pollard
back of the Cowboys.
Oh, so you don't see the two-back system?
No, I don't. No.
Which one? So you're Pollard, not Zeke. Zeke, not Pollard. Or what?
Pollard, not Zeke. Anybody can run the ball on the 1 yard line, bro. I'm sorry. Zeke's not a pass. For example, you look at the rushing attack of Detroit. Detroit got Swift, where he's shifty, he's shaky, he knew everything. And then you got Jamal Williams is the bell cow and stuff like that, right? The one thing I'll tell you about Jamal Williams is Williams also is a phenomenal pass protector. One of the best pass protectors in the league at playing running back. What dirty work does Zeke do? Besides run the ball on the first on the goal line.
This is crazy to hear.
Drive all the work.
This is crazy to hear because Zeke was your guy. Zeke was your guy.
I'm an Ohio State fan. You damn right. Zeke was my guy.
This is crazy to hear.
I'm a Buckeye. But what work does he really do?
Are you saying he washed?
I don't think he's healthy. One, I don't think he's healthy. He ain't been healthy in years. And more importantly, he need to switch the scenery, I think, or something. But I don't think he's a one. He's not a solidified number one. He's a 1A, 1B, 1A, 1B person. He needs somebody else.
Tyron Smith will be back though.
He's not around. I don't like, for example, if I had to give would I pay Zeke a massive contract, I wouldn't blink twice and say absolutely not. If he wanted all this money, or if he wanted to be the highest paid running back in the league, I would tell him to go to another team. No.
It's Pollard, so you're saying it's Pollard's job now, basically.
For the most part, yes.
Realistically,
yeah, because I can draft the running back to give me to the end zone on the first and goal. I can draft that. I could draft somebody to give me the ball on 3rd and inches. I could draft that.
This is news to me. Okay, I thought Zeke played well last game. 2 games ago. I'm sorry, not the Texans game, but okay, all right.
I'm scared of Zeke. I'm more scared of Pollard than I am Zeke. I'll tell you that right now.
Sheesh, that's news to me. Okay. Glenn Foreman, AFC, seeing the Dolphins or the Pats can derail plans. Dolphins, I'm with you. I don't know about the Patriots. It's the offense. We know Belichick can coach the hell out of defense. We know, for example, playing the Raiders. I think the Raiders actually will beat the Pats this week, pretty much closing out their playoffs hopes, in my opinion. I mean, I know mathematically they won't be out yet, but it's just they can't score points, you know what I mean? And the defense is good, but it ain't that good, you know what I mean? To where it's holding teams to 7 points, you know what I mean? So that's why I don't see the Pats, but the Dolphins I completely see. The cold weather thing kind of, you know what I mean? But Waddle, I know he could play in the cold. I know, obviously, we know Reed can play in the cold because obviously he came from Kansas City. Tua remains to be, you know what I mean? I want to see that. And the rushing and the running attack travels, you know what I mean? That don't matter. NFC, Seattle, whoever gets hot. Look, I think Seattle will be a tough out. I'm not, even though I know they're not a wild card team, because obviously the Bucks. I have a feeling. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl. What I'm saying is I have a feeling they're going to come out that wild card game and actually play very well.
You're not going to want to hear me that weekend, and then I'll tell you that. You ain't going to want to hear me. You ain't going to want to hear me.
I know. Freddie Foreman, does T.Y. Hilton make the Cowboys better or worse? That is news, right? T.Y. Hilton is now on the Dallas Cowboys. Gives them, I think, a speedy deep threat, veteran presence. Definitely not worse. I'm not going worse. But I don't know if it makes it like the thing with Odell Beckham. I know he was the big name, right? But he's not. But apparently he's not going to be ready until the playoffs. But the thing with Odell Beckham is, yeah, the catching ability and everything. But what people don't talk about Odell is the route running, right? Odell's a phenomenal route runner, and not that T.Y. Hilton is a bad route runner. It's just nowadays he's just more of a to stretch the field type of guy. You know what I mean, he still has speed. So I'm not saying he makes him worse, but I'm like, I really don't. I just think he's just another good, like, steady receiver. I don't think he should come in and get 10 balls a game thrown to him. You know what I mean? That's my opinion on that. What's your thoughts on T.Y. Hilton joining the Cowboys?
It ain't that serious. That's a backup plan. I'm sorry, that's a backup plan.
Damn, man.
I ain't worried about anybody worried about damn team. I ain't seen somebody worry about T.Y. Hilton since 2017.
Oh my god.
Since Andrew Luck was out there. That was the last time I heard somebody say name who's scared of T.Y. Hilton. Who's scared of T.Y. Hilton? No, I ain't scared of T.Y. Hilton. Watch. Because I said that. Watch him catch like a little slam.
Right.
Across the end zone, in the end zone for a touchdown. Someone's be like, who's not? I thought T.Y. Hilton was washed. He is washed. He's not. No, ain't nobody scared of T.Y. Hilton.
It's going to be the Philly game. What?
It's cool. It's cool. All it is just another person you could throw in there on an empty set. But that's not somebody you worry about. For example, I'll give you a perfect example. You get like Chris Hogan out there. Nobody's scared of Chris Hogan.
Right.
Like,
regardless if he scores or not.
No matter if he scores or not. Danny Amendola caught a ridiculous amount of touchdowns in the NFL. He's actually not far in like the most touchdowns in like a 10-year span or something like that.
Yeah.
Who was scared of Danny Amendola? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Glenn Foreman, Bengals close out the season with Baltimore. That's a huge game. Like, yo. And I know Bengals got the Bucks this week. I think they play. I don't know who they play right after that. And then they got the Bills, and then they got the Ravens. So it's not quite sold that they're gonna win the division, which is crazy because they've been playing so well. So well. And the Bucks actually need to start winning games. So this is a big game for the Bengals and for Cincinnati. Levante Arnwood, if Cowboys make wild card, how far do you see them getting? Look, talent-wise, Dallas could go to Super Bowl talent-wise, right? They got the team to do it. With that said, we know. I think, look, man. Look, the two teams I see beating them for, like, in my mind, for sure, is San Fran and Philly. Those are the two teams that I don't think Dallas can beat. I think both of them can do a good job of beating them up. You know what I mean? And now Philly went out and got A.J. Brown to, like, for those big moments, you know? And, like, I know Levante ended up saying, what can go wrong will go wrong. But, like, that's kind of how I feel, man. Not to steal Stephen A. Sting. Shout out to him. But that's how I feel about Dallas. It's like, Dak Prescott didn't know the rule of handing the ball to the umpire. You know what I mean? Just stupid stuff like that. Like, it's just stupid stuff like that gets in their way, man. Like, talent-wise, they can go to Super Bowl. Hell, talent-wise, they can win the Super Bowl. I'm not sure they can't beat the Bills, Cincinnati, Kansas City. You know what I mean? Talent-wise, but something will go wrong. What's your take on this? I see your face.
In the words of Brian McKnight, will the Cowboys make a wild card? How far do you see them getting? In the words of Brian McKnight, I'll start back at 1. That's what I'm gonna tell you. They go home the first round. They're going home the first round. This is the Dallas Cowboys we are talking about. They're going home in the first round. Like every single year, they go home in the first round. Oh, we got the power. This is the year we're going to beat them this year. No, they're not. No, you're not. You're going to go home the first round. And then next thing you know, we're going to start the offseason again. Y'all going to make some stupid signing. Next thing you know, oh, this is it. The Cowboys is going to win. Is going to win the offseason. Is going to win the Super Bowl. No, they're not, because they're going to do the same thing the next year. Go right back home.
He said, "Nephew, really having Ty gives Dak the Cole Beasley we've been missing." Which Cole Beasley came back to Buffalo, by the way. He came out of retirement, so.
First off, that's ridiculous. Second off, like, I don't know about all that. I don't know, but I don't think that's not gonna matter. It's really not gonna matter. For example, like, I think you were better off trying to like make a believer out of Michael Gallup. Like, then you just resign him for some bread for that money. You might as well just stuck it out. Like, you might as well just stuck it out with Gallup and them. Like,
the problem with Cowboys is that, look, we all know by come January, Dak will somehow end up back in everybody's top 5 list. Like, no matter what happens, he starts the year like top 5 to top 8. Then by mid-season, he slides back to like top 12. You know what I mean? It happens every year. What can't go wrong will go wrong. And he says, wow, come on, guys. Look, I think Dallas has the talent. I don't like the coach. I don't like McCarthy. No. And I'm not really a big fan of Prescott either. I'm happy he got his money. He should have got paid based on what he actually did do, but I'm just not sold. The defense I'm sold on.
Dak's alright. Like, he's cool. Like my only thing with Dak is that people are grading him on some high pedestal that like he's never done nothing to get to. I'm like, when has he been elite? Like explain to me when he's been like what make him like he's not in the same breath of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and like the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. That's what can be confusing me. I'm like, he not in that breath. When? Like,
I know.
Like, people talk about the top quarterbacks and they mention Dak. I'm like, did I miss something? Like,
all right, man, real quick. Let's get on to the next thing. All right. We talked about the Lions. All right. So we know the Lions got a tough road ahead. You know what I mean? Obviously they got off to a horrendous start, and that's kind of what got them into a bad shape. You know what I mean? But I want to know right now, man, do you think the Lions can actually make the playoffs? I'm about to pull up their upcoming game. So if you look, this Sunday they had a big one against the Jets. And then they play Carolina, and then they have Chicago, and then obviously they close out with Green Bay, who's a division rival. Now, I'm not exactly sure what their scenario is specifically, like for their actual team. You know what I mean? But with them possibly being, what are the Lions' record? They are. Let me see. Lions are 6-7, so that will put them at 10-7. Do you think that's good enough? One, do you think they're going to win out? And two, do you think they're good enough to actually make the playoffs?
They'll go 9-8. They'll go 9-8. They'll go 9-8 because, and here's the thing is, magically the game they're going to end up losing is not Green Bay. They will lose to Chicago Bears game. Bet money to lose to Chicago Bears game.
Chicago game, okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you look at a lot of their losses this year, Detroit has struggled with one thing: quarterbacks who can run and throw.
Okay.
So you take for example, that Thanksgiving game. Josh Allen was able to escape. If you're a stationary target, the Lions are going to pounce on you. They're going to get you up out of here. But when you got that option of dual threat, that's what makes the Detroit Lions defense get a little iffy. Even though Hutchinson is a dog, who's about to make stupid money very soon. Like very, very, very soon. They're going to pay him a ridiculous amount of money. Like,
he's incredible. Incredible.
Oh my, absolutely. But if it wasn't for Sauce, Hutch would be my pick for defensive rookie of the year. But Sauce is Sauce. But I think they beat the Jets. Especially because Mike White is hurt and Zach Wilson's trash. So like I think they definitely beat the Jets. I think the Panthers. No, the Panthers. They're gonna whop the Panthers. I really think like you're gonna see why. You're just going to keep understanding why. I think the Bears just that team where, like, everybody's going to look and be like, damn, we should have drafted him. Damn, why did we not draft Justin Fields? Yep. Okay. This is going to be another reason. So when he, like, makes that Lions playoff run a little sketchy, it's going to be because of Justin Fields and the Bears and not the Green Bay Packers. I think they beat the Green Bay Packers. But let's be real here. I don't even think Aaron Rodgers is going to even play in that game. And if he do play in the game, he ain't going to care. He ain't gonna care because it's the last week of the year anyway. So, because you're gonna get that whole like, I don't know if I'm gonna retire. I don't know if I'm gonna come back for this.
Right.
You're gonna get the whole sob story. They have no worries about Green Bay. I'm telling you, that Bears game they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose that game. They're gonna go in 9-8, and somehow, hopefully, I think they'll mathematically or whatever slide into the playoffs.
All right. So I actually think they're gonna win out. I think they're gonna win out at 10-7, but I don't know if that's gonna be quite enough to get them in. I think it might get them in and into that last spot, but I think they're winning out regardless, right? Even the Chicago game, I think that's a tough game. I think that being home and not in Soldier Field, I think they'll win that game. I hope it's enough. Yeah, I mean, I really do hope it's enough, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. That's why I didn't have them. You know what I mean? When we did the wild card team last segment. That's why I didn't have them in. I do think they're going to win out, though. I think next year, though, watch out. You know what I mean? I think next year it's on. Like,
if Detroit goes 10-7, I don't care if they get it or not. They deserve a round of applause. That's my team of the year for me. They've been trash for the last 10 years of my life. Like, I haven't seen them be like something to be scared of since they had Calvin Johnson and Matt Stafford throwing the ball. Like,
especially with LA being bad this year and that draft pick coming back to Detroit.
Yep.
Next year, look out for them. Let's get to the comment real quick. He said, shout out to our brother JR doing time in Facebook jail. Said, show his Eagles some. The Eagles are good, man. Like each week, make sure you relay this back to him. Each week, we've kind of been looking for the Eagles to get picked off or to like basically show fool's gold, and they haven't. They got a good. They're good. They're a good team, man. Shout out to Nick Sirianni. Shown himself as a good coach as well, you know what I mean, and the defensive coordinator as well. They got a good all around ball club. I don't know why he's in Facebook jail.
Free JR,
but I'm not surprised though. Shout out to JR. All right, let's get to the next segment, man. All right, Odell Beckham. Obviously, we know he didn't sign with the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, T.Y. Hilton kind of took that spot. So should any team at this point sign Odell, he will not be ready until the playoffs, which means if you're any other team that's not in the playoffs, there's no point in signing him, even wasting a roster spot. So is there any team, Buffalo was an early one, obviously Dallas. Should any team at this point even bother signing Odell this year or just wait till the offseason?
No, wait till the offseason. You're not gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it. Odell be acting very light skinned, okay? Like he be acting incredibly light skinned. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I'm gonna say it. He be acting incredibly light skinned. Oh my god, every day you see something stupid like, some random player will tweet him like, you think I should go there? All he doing is just peeking around, blinking like, oh, remember we were supposed to get a decision by Thanksgiving. We almost had Christmas now. Christmas next week. Christmas next week. All he doing is being light skinned. He's just sitting there being like, do you remember me? Do you remember me? I'm still here. Wow, you forgot about me? That's all he doing. God. All these teams are still moving on and practicing, and he just going to the basketball game with the Cowboys. Yep. Bro, he's just acting light skinned. That's all it is. No, I'm not signing I'm not signing him because then I got to sit there and teach him the offense while we're trying to make a deep play. No. He can wait, fully get healthy, so he has more months on to get healthy, and we'll pick it up next year. No.
Look, man. So actually, real quick, let's get to this breaking news. Shout out to Pops. He said Justin, coaches says he's not ready to play this year and will probably wait for free agency. Makes sense. So I mean, that kind of throws the segment off, but it doesn't matter because it's a short one anyway. My answer was, I agree with you. No. I think unless he was ready to go like he was last year when he joined the Rams, he's not that good to the point where, you just take him. So, but apparently now his way to free agency, I think that's best for him. I think that's best for whoever signs him. So,
see, my point is, we did all. See, I told you, AKA, he light skinned. We just did all of that for him not to be ready.
Right.
Because that means he wasn't ready by Thanksgiving when you promised we was gonna have a situation. No, I'm not trying to hear that. Attention.
I got you.
Exactly.
We also to highlight because we spoke about the Bills. Von Miller out for the year.
Yeah, that's painful.
That's a tough one. And to me, and I know somebody may say that's kind of steep what I'm about to say. I think that throws the Bills' Super Bowl chances off. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. What? Absolutely. But yeah. Von Miller is the closer. Like Von Miller is legit the closer.
Right. Dana B. Seuss, what's up, fellas? What's up? What's going on? All right, so let's jump into this next thing, and that is the top 5 running backs. Last week we did top 5 receivers, and if you guys didn't catch that, one, you missed out on a good one, but we both had Devontae Adams taking the top spot, just too fluid with the route running, the hands, everything, which is why it was the debacle. They didn't give him the ball against the Rams after he started out cooking Ramsey. Ooh. But we're not talking about the Raiders this week, so Top 5 backs. Let's go number 5. If you guys don't know, we go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. So with that said, top 5 running backs. Devontae, who do you got at number 5?
My number 5, I'm gonna go. It's between two people. So if I had to choose one, I'm gonna go 5. Basically, I'm gonna go with my 5A. I'm gonna go DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
My 5B was Austin Eckler.
Oh, from
Chargers. Yeah. But I'm gonna go DeAndre Swift because like he's the home run hitter for that team.
What? Why specifically DeAndre Swift? I'm curious. What do you think he does for that? Like, how do you think he helps the quarterback the team?
Bro, literally, okay. So, for example, you take a normal, like he not only does he get the ball like every typical running back, just up the middle and stuff like that. He's a stretch. He's a running back where he gets the ball on stretches. He doesn't come out the game 9 times out of 10 unless it's 3rd and 1 because he gets the ball on stretches. He's the running back who does the bubble routes out the backfield, who makes you miss 1-on-1.
Right.
He's the running back who catches the screen pass. He gets the ball in like 8. He reminds me a lot like Le'Veon Bell, where
I got you.
He's legit the bell cow, but only difference of the type of bell cow running back, he does everything. He can do anything you ask him to, and that's the thing about him is that he's the home run hitter on the Lions team, basically meaning so where we had Antonio Brown, the Lions don't got Antonio Brown.
Okay.
He's the one where it's like he's gonna 9 times 10 he's gonna get you in a great field position. He's the reason why you get like a 40-yard run or a 50-yard pass or something like that. He's like that bell cow for that offense with Amon St. Rod growing and Jameson Williams, who just came back from the leg injury. Like he's like that motor for Detroit doesn't start without DeAndre Swift.
Sure. All right, so I'm say right now, full disclosure, and probably not gonna like my list because certain things about backs don't speak to me. Certain things do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So my number 5 to kick it off is Dalvin Cook. I think Dalvin Cook on the Vikings, I think he is incredible. I think there's not much he can do. I think he's very underrated in terms of his speed. We've seen him hit some home runs, especially that Bills game.
Yep.
We've seen him hit the home run ball. He's a great vision. I just love a lot. He could catch at the backfield to me, especially this year, which is what this list is based on so far. What we've seen, who's the top 5 in the league. I got to go Dalvin Cook. What do you got for number 4 after you address that point?
Dalvin got fumble problems. Like
he does. I know.
Like I'm remember the Titans streak with fumbles, bro. Like
I know.
He scared me. All right, we're at number 4.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not. If you ain't gonna like his list, you ain't gonna like mine either. All right, so number 4, I got Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
I got him at 4 because there's a certain player at number 3 who I just think is just playing better because he's my preferred style of running back. So that's the only reason why I got him at 3. But Saquon we all know Saquon is literally the motion on that offense. If the offense doesn't work, if he don't put in work, Saquon has done everything in his possible power to get paid and show why he's still one of the best running backs in this league, which is ridiculous after all the leg injuries and stuff he had with the garbage offensive line, the garbage GM system that they had. He's still stuck in, and like if the Giants don't pay him, I know Buffalo will. I'm just saying, I know Buffalo gladly will. I definitely got him at 4.
So number 4 for me, I gotta go Joe Mixon, Cincinnati. I think Joe once again, power in legs, power in the drive, great balance, fixed the fumbling problems he had early on in his career. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing with him is sometimes the injury to the lower body he has with the hamstrings and the groin and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But this year, I mean, he had 5 touchdowns, and when Cincinnati was struggling, he helped pull them out. It wasn't just Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, as always, in the receiving core. He helped pull them out. So I got to go Joe Mixon.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Who do you got for number 3?
Number 3 is he's a runner-up, I believe. I think I have him as a runner-up for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
He was my sleeper pick in my mock draft cover and my draft cover. So this makes me really, really look like Mel Kiper because like I called this one.
Okay.
Dameon Pierce, running back Texans. Stop playing with my man. Stop playing with my man. What? That boy has been murdering people. Like, we want to talk about, he fumbled last game. Next thing you know, was just trucking everybody the entire game. Like, he is my type of running back to where it's like he can do the cuts to where it's like he'll throw you off. He can stiff arm you and throw you off, but he will run right through you when need be. He will run straight through you, and his power is not even close. Dameon Pierce is a force to be reckoned with just on a terrible team. So I tell you this, if he can somewhat stay healthy, if he can fight and stay healthy, when that contract expires, when he's out of that rookie deal, somebody's going to give him so much money.
Okay. I'm not mad at that pick. He's a monster. He didn't make my list, full disclosure, just because I got to see it next year, right? So although I'm not mad because we are basing it largely off this year, but you know what I mean. But I have no doubts he'll be consistent next year, probably be even better. But for that, he didn't make my list this year. Number 3, I'm going with the hometown, not hometown for me, but like my team. Going Josh Jacobs, man. Josh Jacobs, I think, I know his contract year and stuff. He's probably going to either get signed or franchise tag, which means he ain't going nowhere. But the way he's been running the ball is crazy. I know he lost 15 pounds, and it looks like he's faster because of it. Like I said, he hit an 86-yard game winner. I ain't never seen him run that fast in my life. You know what I mean? Like, the vision is great. Obviously, we know he's always had power. You know what I mean? I just think he's having a hell of a year. He has like a 300-yard lead in rushing yards this year. He's won back in touchdowns with 11 so far. Again, I think Josh Jacobs, I think because of the way he extended this year, I think he's the 3rd best back in the league right now at this moment in time. Who do you got for number 2?
Number 2 is tough, but when I look at all these running backs, I look at all what they're doing, and then if I look in hindsight, can I put him over this guy? Nah, I can't. But because I based my list a little bit more off this season, number two is how we felt about Devontae Adams. How I kind of still feel about this guy, Derrick Henry, bro. Like Derrick Henry,
okay.
Derrick Henry is a problem, bro. Like Derrick Henry, literally, it's just like I feel bad for him because like people give him a bad rap sometimes, but like, bro, he got Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, bro. Like, there's only so far you're getting with him as quarterback. So, like, the Titans always have a very physical offensive line, but like you're running him into the dirt. But Derrick Henry is impossible to stop because one thing people don't tell you about him is that his speed is ridiculous.
Right.
He's not just a big body he's not like think about it. Brandon Jacobs wasn't outrunning nobody. Derrick Henry be burning people. Derrick Henry be burning people.
He got speed.
When he get that corner, he's out of there. Like,
he got speed.
But when you talk about like what you want in a running back and a bell cow and a franchise running back, you cannot look at a franchise running back and tell me that's not Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is the key franchise running back, and he has been. And he shows you he shows you how important a running back really is. Why? Because the last 3 years he's dragged the Titans to the playoffs on his back.
Yeah. I mean, AJ Brown has something to say about that too, but
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, not all.
I got you though. I got you. All right. Number 2 for me, man. Look, it's similar to what you said in the sense of why, although they've been kind of sliding, it's really not because of him. He's really a one-man crew right now, and that's Saquon Barkley. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think Barkley came back with a vengeance. You know what I mean? I think off the injury, when he's healthy, look, bro, he's top 3 by default in the league. Like, there's nothing he can't do. He literally is the Giants' offense. You stop him, you beat the Giants. You can't stop him, you ain't beating the Giants. That's really like, I don't care about Daniel Jones and whoever else they got. Saquon Barkley. But because of the guy at 1, he can't get the top spot. Who do you got for number 1?
Number 1, in the words of Stephen A., the list is fluid. So what I got for number 1 is Josh Jacobs. And I'm going to tell you why I got Josh Jacobs.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't expect that.
Josh Jacobs is number 1. Why? Because in this simple fact, when you look all over, Josh Jacobs is also, he is the reason the Raiders have won games this year. Period.
Yeah.
And you would not expect that because you would think that they would go with the air it out phases. You got Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Devontae Adams. Everybody swore that they were just going to throw the ball all year.
Yep.
So nobody expected the Raiders to even pay Josh Jacobs at the end of this year. Nobody even expected that because you just figured they were just going to throw the ball all year.
Right.
And you see the reason why. If there's any way in the world Josh McDaniels has a job next year, it's going to be because of Josh Jacobs, because of the progression he has made in 1 year. 1 year. He lost 15 pounds and he's burning people. And then more importantly, he has the most clutch moment this year from a running back this year.
The walk-off.
The walk-off home run, 80-yard touchdown. And then you don't talk about what he was doing in those fourth quarters before.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs is a bruiser running back. And you can't tell me no running back has made a bigger stretch than he has this year. So if I'm going off of this year, who I think did the most work, the most productive, and had the biggest moment of this year, of this NFL season, Josh Jacobs.
You know, Jacobs is my guy. You know what I mean? Going back to when they drafted him, that's my guy. Like, whether he leaves the Raiders or stays, that's my guy. Just like Khalil Mack. He plays on a team I hate in the Chargers, but that's still my guy. That's Jacobs. But number one, I can't leave it out, bro. That's Nick Chubb, man. Like, Nick Chubb.
I forgot about Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, bro. Like, look, I know the Browns ain't much this year, but it ain't because of him. That man probably got the strongest legs on a running back of all time. Like, the dude is a creative player, man. Like, you know, like you in Madden, you make a dude, you make him as big as possible, as strong as possible, and as fast as. That's Nick Chubb, bro. That's Nick Chubb, and like, he don't fumble the ball. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying ever, don't get me wrong, but like, he don't fumble the ball. The vision is crazy. He's like the reason why the Browns have been competitive because of him. And I know Jacobs is probably going to run away with the rushing title. So I get that point, but Nick Chubb is just consistent. And I know people is probably like, why no love to King Henry, Derrick Henry. And that's where this year kind of came into, because like it really came down to Mixon, Cook, Jacobs over Henry. And I love the way Cook's been playing lately. Mixon and Jacobs, obviously this year I could have put him as one as well, but that's the only reason it was basically Derrick Henry had made the initial list, but I was like, I gotta pluck somebody out, because at first I had Josh Jacobs off the list, right? So I was like, nah, he's leading the league in rushing. I gotta take somebody off, and Henry was the guy who just happened to get off. So
yeah, there's a bunch of names I wanted to give love.
McCaffrey too, but he's always hurt. He's
Brian
always hurt.
Robinson Jr.
Yep. Miles
Sanders. There's a lot of names. There's a lot of running backs I want to give love to, but like Eckler. I had space. I didn't have space. I was like, damn, there was no movement.
This to me was tougher than the receiver one.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like the receiver one, I knew I had Tay at one, and I was like, I could fill in the rest. This one, I had about 10, 15 names that I was like, yo, I could put them up. DeAndre Swift, you know what I mean? Pierce, like there's a lot of names I could put. I think the league is starting to get good again with the runners.
For sure.
Let's get to these comments though. All right, so the enemy says Miami gonna beat them this week. I don't know about that. That's a tough one. Freddie Foreman, I think Odell hype is better than he is 10 minutes. Yeah, Odell with the knees always hurt. Like, I like Odell. I like the route running and stuff like that. I think he did great for the Rams.
That's all I'm saying.
He's always hurt, and like the hype is better. Yeah, the hype is better than what he is at this point.
He light skinned.
Reggie Brown steals one of the Super Bowl. All right, bro. Keep drinking. Not this year, at least.
With no comment. No comment on that. We're gonna let that. I'm gonna let that go.
Right.
No.
Right. No comment. I don't know about that one.
I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself.
Dana B. Sousa's fifth would be Derrick Henry. 4 is Dalvin Cook. 3rd is McCaffrey.
Yeah, Mixon at 2.
Mixon at 2. Cause love your father. And he said, "How are you already at 2 and don't use McCaffrey or Chubb?" And I assume he had Chubb at 1. But look, McCaffrey is just the injury thing. You know what I mean, I know he's been playing amazing for the Niners, of course.
And he switched teams.
Yeah, it's the injuries. That's all. He's always made my top list until he started getting hurt.
He's always hurt.
Pop said 5 Cook, 4 Mixon, 3 Saquon, 2 Henry, and 1 Jacobs. Honorable mention to Miles Sanders and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb was the only guy I couldn't leave off the list, which is crazy because so far almost everybody has left him off the list. I know the Browns ain't much this year, so I get it, but
yeah, that's how I feel about the Texans because the Texans are nothing this year. But like, bro,
Pearson Mostert, yeah,
Pearson, so OD, like, I'm like, no, bro, like,
I have zero doubts he's gonna make the top 3 list next year.
Oh my god, like,
Daniel Suits will lead the command and manage the victory. We'll see about that. He said Chubb at 1. They'll beat the Giants this week, and Seattle will lose, so we'll be in good shape for the playoffs. Talking about the Commanders, okay. Said McCaffrey not hurt this year, although he thought we was talking this year. Look, McCaffrey was hurt because he got hurt in the second week of the year. He missed. I think he missed the 3rd game.
That's why they let him go.
Yeah, that's why they let him go.
They let him go. Like,
now he is playing well for the Niners, so I'm not doubting him and saying I'm not saying he's not good.
It just always comes with a knock on wood. It just always comes with a knock on wood.
On my list, I can't take anybody out right now for McCaffrey. And even if I did take some guys out, Pierce and Henry would take that spot before McCaffrey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not yet. Just no.
Right. All right, so those are our top 5 backs. We're scrolling across the screen. They will be there for the rest of the show. Feel free to comment on that. All right, and last but not least, let's quickly look forward to week 15.
Let's do it.
Let's see what games is hot. We know we got some games that are pretty good, but look, let's take a quick look. All right, let's go. All right, so kick it off. Tomorrow night, we got 49ers and the Seahawks. This is a huge game for that division. Who do you got?
I got the Seahawks because I don't know who's playing quarterback for the Niners because like homie got Purdy got the oblique and the hamstring or something like that. I know it's an oblique for sure and then something else.
Right.
So like, and he's still listed as questionable in the game's tomorrow. So like, I don't know if he's playing tomorrow. So like, I'm gonna just go with what I know and go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm rolling with you. Although, watch out for that defense.
Absolutely.
I just don't. Yeah.
Absolutely. I just don't know who's playing quarterback yet, so it's really tough to make that decision.
I got you. Next up, Colts Vikings.
Vikings by 40. Well, all right. Actually, no, I take that back. I'll give him like 25 by 20 because the Vikings tend to screw around.
I was gonna say
if they lose to the Saturdays, a specific friend of mine, me and him are gonna have a conversation.
Right. I'm not calling upset special on this one, but I think the Vikings will win by 7 somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens Browns. I'm going Baltimore, although this might be a trap game because of Watson.
Yeah, I got Baltimore by like 6. But by actual 6. Like not like by like a touchdown maybe or a field goal.
This one is a huge game Saturday night with a playoff and divisional implications. Dolphins at Buffalo.
Absolutely. Dolphins, Buffalo. I got. Oh, it's in Buffalo. Yeah, I got Buffalo. I just don't believe in Dolphins, and I mean, I'll never pick the Dolphins in cold weather, bro. I just won't like. There's too much stats going against that. Like, I refuse to pick the Baltimore. I refuse to pick Dolphins in cold weather, bro. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it ever. Like,
and Reggie Brown, who's playing QB for the Ravens, is Tyler Huntley. He is playing this weekend. So let's see if that changes things. It said Browns by 3. Okay. So, all right.
What else do we got?
Next up, we got Philadelphia against your beloved Chicago Bears. Justin Fields. Can he pull off the upset?
No, but like this is gonna be a game where it's like I think it's gonna be like one of those high scoring games. That's what I got. My prediction is like the Eagles might put up like 40, but like I think the Bears score like 28 or something like that.
Tell you right now, Eagles put up 40, the MVP race is over. All right. So let's
hold on. You want a little? There you go.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, let me get back here. We also got the Lions and the Jets.
I got the Lions in this one by 14.
Lions over the Jets by 14. Wow.
I think they're gonna knock Mike White out the game because he's already hurting already.
Yep.
And I think Hutchinson and boys gonna knock him out the game. And then I ain't worried about Zach Wilson.
All right. Your Steelers against the Panthers.
No comment, because if we lose this game, I don't speak of the Steelers for the rest of the year. So no comment. I'm gonna just no. We gonna see it.
Yo, the wild part is I know exactly what you mean too. I know exactly what you mean. Like,
no.
Yo, that's crazy.
Next game.
All right, Chiefs Texans.
Oh, Chiefs by 40. Damon Pierce gonna get busy though. Watch that. He's gonna get busy though. But I got the Chiefs.
It's not even close.
Not a debate.
It's not even close. All right, Falcons against the Saints.
This is probably the most boring game of the list to me. But I guess I'm gonna go with the Falcons just because I want to see what Desmond Ridder does. This is gonna be his first game starting this year, so I'm interested to see what he does. I don't like how the coach on the Falcons violated Marcus Mariota like that, but it was mad funny. It was mad funny. Like he was gonna start before his injury. I was like, damn, you have to say it like that. But yeah, I'll go with the Falcons. I'm not a big fan of the Saints.
Yeah, man. And all right, this next game, we got the Cowboys against the Jaguars, and I will say, upset alert.
Jacksonville gonna win this game. I'm right with you. Jacksonville gonna win this game. I'm right with you. That was my upset of the week.
Yep. And in case you guys didn't hear it, upset alert. Sorry. Jaguars by 10. It's the upset alert. We get one a week. It's upset alert.
I'm right with you on this.
Cowboys and the Jaguars. I think Trevor Lawrence is starting to catch on. I think they're going to beat Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next game. This is a tough one. These next few games.
Oh, God.
The Cardinals and the Broncos. No Kyler Murray. But Broncos country, Let's Ride is playing. I think.
Yeah, Broncos 6-3. Like, this game is boring. Like, this game is horrible. Like,
I think Broncos win. Patriots at Raiders. Patriots need it. Technically, the Raiders are not out, but in my mind, they're out. So I think the Patriots need it more. I think the Raiders win close, but like that's only because I don't think the Patriots can score points. Although it's not hard to score points on the Raiders defense.
Well, because my biasness comes into play. You know, fantasy football, the playoffs are to start this weekend. Yep. I need this W. I'm going with the Raiders. Derek Carr, do not let me down. Just throw the ball to one person. That's all you got to do. Hand the ball off. Throw the ball to one person.
I got you.
You can throw 48 out routes for all I care.
I got you.
Do it.
All right, Titans Chargers. This is actually quietly a big game with playoff implications. I'm going with 10 to see. Actually, I think they're going to get revenge for that loss against Jacksonville.
I got the Chargers in this one because they're home. I think because they're home.
Probably more Titans fans in LA than
there's not a lot of Chargers fans. It's not that hard. There's not a lot of Chargers fans.
And what I think is might be the game of the week. Just in terms of both teams need it. The Bengals need to win to hold off the Ravens in the playoffs. In the divisional race, and obviously the Bucks got to start winning, or they will find themselves out of the playoffs. It's division or nothing for the Buccaneers. So, who do you got? Bengals or Buccaneers?
I got Cincy.
Cincy.
They said that Bucs secondary kind of just they scared me a little bit. So I'm gonna go. I think Cincy finds a way. So but I won't be surprised if Tom does it again.
So initially, this was my upset alert. However, that Jacksonville game, I just feel better about it. I think the Bengals actually will take care of business and beat the Buccaneers. Giants and the Commanders. Obviously, this is huge. I think whoever loses this game will end up out of the playoffs.
This actually, this disgusts me to say this, but this was my game of the week because of how much is on the line for this. So with that being said, the Washington Commanders will knock the Giants out of the playoffs, and I'm picking the Commanders just because they actually have wide receivers who can play. The Giants do not have any wide receivers at all.
As long as they play Heineke, the Commanders will be a really, really good team and tough to beat. I'm going with the Commanders by 10. And last but not least, the game that probably should have been the game of the week at the start of the season.
But nobody cares about.
Now nobody cares about. Yes, Baker Mayfield, who's 1-0 as a starter for this new team this year. Thanks, Raiders. Thanks, Josh McDaniels. Going up against Green Bay in the Aaron Rodgers and the crew.
I'm going to go Green Bay, but I will tell you this. If Green Bay loses this game, you won't see Aaron Rodgers play the rest of the season.
Ever again? No, I'm just
if Aaron Rodgers loses if Mr. Discount double check, double check, loses to Mr. Progressive. If he loses to Flo, I think they're gonna sit him for the rest of the year and be done with it.
Flo. That is hilarious. All right, so there you have our game picks. Let's get to these comments and let's get out of here. All right, let's go. All right, it says JR is watching on an 8-inch black and white TV in jail selling fake Philly cheesesteaks. That's hilarious. Then he said Browns by 3. Says if Hill plays, Miami will win. Says 0 chance Miami beats the Bills in the snow. Yeah, it is supposed to snow. You know what? I'm sticking with Miami. Reek can play in the snow. Just give the ball to Waddle and Hill. Lions by 10. Steelers will win. Biggie's going to the game in Carolina. Okay.
I need to go back out there. Look.
Says John J. Swinger. Okay. Falcons. We also got a pick for say. That would be sweet, but I don't know. He said, stop drinking about the upset alert. I ain't drinking. Upset alert. Upset. Jacksonville over Dallas. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, he said the Bengals will win. The Chargers will win. He said, be careful about the Commanders. Levante said, hater, because we both picked the Commanders to beat the Giants. Sorry, bro.
They got no receivers, bro. Yeah, you got nobody to throw the ball to. Like,
I know.
LV, you could go play for them. Like,
right. Said Browns over Ravens, Jags over Cowboys, Titans is a must win. I agree with that. Dana Suits over Giants. Will be interested to see if Tua can play in the cold. This will be huge, seeing what happens in the playoffs. I will think he can because he throws a lot of short passes anyway. But let's see. Also, NBA news: Steph Curry has 27. That dude's a monster. He's like the smallest monster I've ever seen in the NBA. Shout out to Isaiah Thomas and the Iverson and the other guys. But Steph Curry is a monster. I don't know. They can't play on the road for some reason this year. We'll get into some NBA talk later on. Spoiler alert, I don't think the NBA season starts until Christmas, but personally.
After All-Star break.
Anyway, with that said, that is all we got for this week. Y'all appreciate the love and support. Again, happy holidays, of course. As you see me out here, it's a little holiday cheer up in here, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who supports the show. Make sure you hit the share button. Let everybody know what we do. I see the numbers are going up each week, and I definitely appreciate it. I'm sure Devontae does as well.
Of course.
We'll be back next week with a quote-unquote Christmas edition. We'll have a giveaway, too. One or two. So if you want to win something, check out the show. Share the show. I'm JB. I'll catch you guys next week. Devontae, let them know where they can find you.
Devontae forever. Thank you for watching.
All right, we're going to catch you guys next week. Gridiron Podcast. We out. Peace.